Hi folks, Will at LL Workshop. In this video I'm going to tell you how much profit Allmakes, Bearmach and Britpart made in 2017. So let's start with turnover, or revenue, which is basically how much they've sold. For that, I need to hand over to our tame accountant. Some say he can get a woman into bed just by showing her his spreadsheet. And if he was in charge of Brexit, he'd be done already. But all we know is he's going to show you some numbers. How's you doing, folks? Tame accountant here. You wanting some numbers here? Right, well, I've got them written down on this bit of paper here. Right, so Britpart, 87. How cool is that? Numbers are coming up on screen. Britpart, 87,104,000. Bearmach, 40,025,000. Allmakes, 34,399,866. Back to studio. So the total of the three is £161 million. That's basically a broad estimate of how many Land Rover parts are sold every year. It may not be totally accurate because Allmakes also sell Jeep parts, and it doesn't include all the genuine parts sold by Land Rover, and they are wholesalers, and naturally we buy from retailers who then add their margin on top. So it needs a bit of a pinch of salt in terms of like the actual total accurate figure, but it's in the hundreds of millions of pounds. It also shows how pervasive Britpart parts are when you buy them online, because their turnover is more than the other two combined. It also explains why there's so many retailers for Land Rover parts, because if you get a 1% share of the market, that's a 1.6 million turnover, and that would do very nicely. You could live on that quite easily. That's part of the reason I set up LL Workshop, is because there are so many retailers, it's so difficult to find the right price. And now for the main event, operating profit. Some say I'll just play the video. How's you doing, folks? Back again, are we? Operating profit this time, is it? Don't blame you. So we go back to paper. Britpart, 11,073,000. Bearmach, 563,000. Allmakes, 571,544. So, all things being considered, that gives a net margin based on the previously divulged turnover. That gives a net margin of Britpart 12.71%, Bearmach 1.41%, Allmakes 1.66%. Back to studio. Thank you, tame accountant. So that was operating profit, which is essentially a measure of business performance. It's basically all of your revenue minus the cost of buying all your products minus your overheads. What that figure isn't is how much money the directors make every year, or how much is paid in dividends, because there's other accountancy figures that have to go into that, such as adding on the interest from the cash you have and taking off the tax and things like that, which are all very abstract things and not directly related to the business, the performance in itself. But what does it all mean, Basil? Britpart are so much more profitable than the other two businesses. We tend to think of Britpart as kind of mainstream. A typical mainstream retailer would get 1 to 3% operating profit. For example, Tesco, theirs is about 3%. 10% in the business game is like the golden goose, 10% operating profit. And generally for this type of profit margin, you would have to sell premium products to be able to justify the extra markup. Lower volume with higher cost. Britpart, on the other hand, has got high volume, low cost. So they've kind of flipped it around there, and they've got the best of both worlds in that respect. All of these three companies have got about 50 to 60 years of experience each in business. So why is Britpart so much more profitable than the other two? Well, they generally sell their products cheaper than the other two, and they're making more profit. I'll leave it to you to think about why that may be. But where did you get that information from? It's all freely available on Companies House in the UK, because all three of them are UK companies. I'll leave the links in the description. You can go and check out their accounts for yourself. I hope you found this video interesting. I'm not an accountant, but I have a little bit of knowledge, which makes me incredibly dangerous. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe for more interesting videos
Let your friends know you think they'll be interested in knowing how much profit these companies make. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. So one caveat with the data, Bearmach and Allmakes have the end of the financial year in the 31st of December, whereas Britpart is in March. So what I've done is taken the end of the calendar year for 2017 to be that financial year, and then Britpart I've used the end of March 2018 and sort of backdated it 3 months to signify the same financial period for the purposes of comparison.